Ruh Ar-Ruh, you know, the soul of my soul, this grandfather who, you know, Shaykh Yasir, who moved all of our hearts. The death of his grandchildren and his narrative and his story that he tells, and you see this man in pain, this man of faith, this man who loves Allah and his messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, and he's pouring his heart out about his granddaughter. And so I want to play this clip. It's a few minutes long, and for those that are listening, you know, there's subtitles here. You can watch the video later on, and then we're going to comment on this. But Bismillah, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina nabi.
بنتي ساكنة عندي، احنا ساكنين كليتنا في بيت واحد. هذه كل يوم حياتي وروحي وعشقي، وكل لحظة بتكون في حضني، كل لحظة. هي وطارق مات معها، كان نفسي صوروا طارق معي، طارق وريم، بس ريم يعني أقرب إلي، انولدت في نفس تاريخ ميلادي وبنعملها عيد ميلاد. كل يوم تقول لي قبل ما تموت، تقول لي اسمي أنا يا يوئي عندها، يا يوئي، اللي ذاكر الموز ذاكر البطيخ، يا يوئي، تلحسني من وجهي، ألحسها من وجهها، بس مات. بقيت أحكي لها اصحي يا حبيبي اصحي، حسيت أنا نايم بس مات. حضنها كل يوم عندي، صحيني من النوم الصبح الظهر العصر، جيب لي حاجات، طششني، أطشش على البسكليت، نروح أورجيهم على المدارس كيف الناس المعاناة تاعت المدارس. شفتها هي وطارق نايمين بين آلاف الجثث، أنا فوق 100 جثة. لقيتهم يعني كلهم غبرة ونايمين، يعني حسيتهم نايمين. اصحي يا ريم، اصحي يا طارق، اصحي يا ريم، مين يا حبيبي نايم. وعملت لها عقصة شعرها، عقصتين دائما بتحب العقصة. بقى شعرها مفلوت. باي، هي روح الروح أصلا، هي ريم روح الروح، هي بتقلبي بنت.
You know, look at this. You know, I thought she was sleeping. I'm looking at her, this beautiful little girl, and her brother, rahmatullahi alayhim, the heart of a grandfather, the heart of a muhib, the heart of a man who loves Allah and his messenger alayhi salatu. This is the individual that the Fir'auni, Dajjalic system is trying to tell the world are animals and are not deserving of any mercy. This man is all mercy. This man is all love. And his grandfather's pouring his hearts out. He's seeing his granddaughter. He's saying, wake up, you know. And, you know, subhanAllah, I saw that. You know, you would think that, may Allah protect us, that I'd have the same reaction. If may Allah give all of our children, may Allah, a life that he loves, subhanAllah, that if I saw my own child, I'd tell him the same thing, like, wake up, hey, what's going on? You know, Shaykh Yasir, you have children, you know, that feeling that, what's going on? It's Habibi Hassan, wanak ya Habibi. And she's the soul of my soul. And this is the price that everyone's paying, not because they're trying to attack Hamas, because they're just trying to eradicate and destroy the Palestinian people. But you cannot eradicate a soul like this, Shaykh Yasir. This soul, look at how big his soul is. This man Tariq. His soul is touching our souls here. Look at that ruh. His ruh is touching our ruh, arwah here. And so our souls are moved by Tariq, this young girl. And so, you know, sometimes people say, what's the hikmah? What's the wisdom in Allah allowing certain things to happen? Who knows what throne this young little Reem is going to be sitting on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and how many of us in our increase in faith are all going right to her and her realities, because she's moving my heart. I'm sure she's moving yours, Shaykh Yasir.
Wallah, Habib, you know, that video is like etched in my soul. Really, I mean, I have watched the video, the original video, without exaggeration, dozens and dozens of times, and I cannot but tear, weep, sob every time I see it. And that happens because of everything about that video is a culmination of the human reality. It's beauty, it's love, it's pain, it's sadness, it's belief, it's conviction. It's all of the sacred meanings of existence in a video. And you said that it's touched our souls. Wallahi, it's touched the souls of everyone. Everyone there are. I've read and listen to so many people comment on this video, and non-Muslims who are talking about what I'm witnessing and seeing is the purity of love. That is a man who's in love, and he had a love story with his granddaughter, and to kiss her eyes so gently the way he did, and to open them up. And he said in the video, he said, I braided her hair because that's how her mom always kept her hair, right? He would, she would keep them in those braids. And you just saw the tenderness and the way he rubs his beard on her forehead. You can imagine how we play with our children. That girl, Reem, Allah, I see my daughter, Khadija, who's maybe 2 or 3 years older than that girl, but I see her, they look exactly the same. Their hair is very similar, the same style of, and I look at her and I say, Subhanallah. The other day I kissed her eye. I've never done that before, but I kissed her eye, and I did it. I did it. Wallahi al-Azim. I did it because that man, I think his name is Abu Diyat. From what I've learned, he's the father of light. Abu Diyat, that's his name. That's his kunya. Wallahi, I look at him and I see a man of Allah. I see a man of Jannah. I hope to kiss his hand one day in this dunya. Wallahi, I really hope that I can kiss his hand, that, I pray to be with him and his family in Jannah, because who else do you want to be around in this life? These people, they're beautiful people. Wallahi, like, the ulama, they would say, Allahumma iman. The ulama, the scholars, like, the likes of Imam al-Ghazali, Imam al-Razi, they've all said this. Many of them have said it. They say, Allahumma iman ka iman ajayaz Naysabur. Ya Allah, give us the iman of the elderly women of Nishapur. Like, we want their iman. And because, no matter how much scholarship they had, but the purity of the faith and the belief, the connection to Allah that these elderly women of Naysabur had was what, like, all of these scholars so dearly desired. Wallahi, today I feel like the updated version of that dua has to be Allahumma iman ka imani ahli Gaza. Ya Rabbi, like, allow us to have the iman of the people of Gaza. Like, this man, this is a man of Allah. Wallahi al-Azim. Like, you're watching the epitome of the human condition. If you want to understand, sometimes you look at shuyukh, you look at scholars, we revere our teachers, and we're like, man, that's a man of Allah. That man that you're seeing is a man of Allah. He's min al-akhfiya. He's from the hidden that Allah chose to expose to us. He was hidden. He was hidden. Kana makhfi. And then Allah showed humanity one of his men, one of his rijal. And then you see, he's in the first video, he's holding his ruh, Ar-Ruh, the soul of my soul, because that's his granddaughter, Ruh Ar-Ruh. And so he's holding her, and then he puts her down, and then he says, he puts her down so gently, and they're about to cover her in the plastic, and he says, Ma'akillah, Allah is with you. He knows, khalas, she belongs to Allah. He loved her so much. He cared for her so much. In other videos that have surfaced, he talks about, he's walking through the carnage because they were all lived in his house. The bomb fell, and the mother was saying that the 2 children were sleeping together and they wanted to sleep early. And she said, Habibi, stay. She told her children, stay awake a little earlier. Later, he said, no, Mama, we want to go to sleep, and we want to sleep next to each other. And the bomb, the way it hit, killed them. Their mom survived, and their grandfather survived. And you think to yourself, like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he takes, and he tests and he challenges, and he shows the reality of the dunya that's going to end, that the things that we feel are so real. Like, I can't imagine, for him, for example, his whole life probably centered around these kids, Habib. The way that our lives center around our families, like, and then to have that taken, you almost ask yourself, what kind of life is there to be lived? But you know what that man is going to do? That man's going to live, and he's going to thrive, and he's going to soar. Billahi wa ma'allah wa bil habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam, with his iman and his faith. And those children will be a source of inspiration. Wallahi al-azim, I have certainty, I have no doubt that those children, Reem and Tariq, will be waiting for him. And that man is going bi'idhnillah, by the permission of Allah, لَا نُزَكِّي عَلَى اللَّهِ أَحَدٍ, right into Jannah. His children, his grandchildren will take him right into Jannah, and they'll take their mother right into Jannah. That's why we're watching, you know, we have to pause and think, like, what is this? What is this? What is this beauty? What is this richness? What is this faith? What is this conviction? What is this trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You know, to thrive the way that he's thriving, to stand tall and beautiful, and to see him. Do his tears take away from, this is a man of Allah? You know, Prophet ﷺ, when the companion saw him crying for the passing of his son, Sayyidina Ibrahim, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, what are these tears, you know, that we see from your face? He said, Inna al-ayna la tadma, wa inna al-qalba la yahzan. You know, that the eyes, they will tear, and the heart will experience sadness. And we are saddened by the passing of Ibrahim. And so, you know, this father and this grandfather, this man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I feel, wallahi, I feel blessed to have come to know him. Wallahi al-azim, I pray that one day I can kiss his hands. I pray that I can be with him and his children and his grandchildren in Jannah, in the company of Al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wallahi, I pray for that. I really, Habib, I really mean that. I'm not just saying that. Like, I really hope, because this is a dunya. This is like these people, bidunya wa ma fiha. Like, all of existence does not even pales in comparison to the reality of a man like this and his family.